Welcome to This Week in 2016 Presidential Polls, where we look past the horse race to the numbers that really matter. Here's the polling news that you need to know for the week ending July 17th. And it can be summed up in two words: the Donald. Since Trump entered the race, his numbers have been climbing. But four national polls released this week show just how stunning a turnaround that has been, at least among GOP voters. Just over a month ago, few Republicans held Donald Trump in high regard. His favorability rating ranged from 20% to 38% depending on the poll. Now he earns anywhere from 40% to 58%. This turnaround is surprising because we rarely see voter opinion of a widely known personality change so rapidly. For example, Chris Christie's numbers did not change at all when he entered the race, but the lesser-known Bobby Jindal's did. The turnaround for Trump comes from practically every subset of the Republican electorate, except one. The most astounding swing has been among Tea Party supporters, going from 20% favorable before Trump threw his hat into the ring to 56% today. He has also doubled his positive ratings from Republicans who describe themselves as either very conservative or somewhat conservative. However, his standing has barely budged among Republicans who consider themselves moderate or liberal on the ideological spectrum, only earning a 28% positive rating from this group. Basically, Trump's statements on immigration may have struck a chord with certain Republicans, but it doesn't seem to have earned him broad support. Suffolk University found that very few voters say that Trump's immigration comments would make them more likely to support him, including just 24% of Republicans. In fact, more voters say that Trump's rhetoric would make them less likely to back him, including 34% of Republicans and 40% of independents. And most voters simply don't take Trump's candidacy seriously, including nearly half of Republicans. In fact, nearly 4 in 10 GOP voters told the Monmouth University poll that Trump was running for president primarily to seek publicity for himself. The YouGov and ABC Washington Post polls also tracked Trump's favorability ratings among Democrats and independents, and both found that significant numbers of these groups have negative opinions of Donald Trump. That hasn't changed since before he announced. Now, in fact, we find that when we pit him against Hillary Clinton, he does the worst among any Republicans in the field. The Suffolk University poll this week had him trailing Clinton by 17 points. So the Donald Trump surge is real, it just has its limits, even among Republican voters. If we look back 4 years ago, we remember that cycle where it seemed every 6 weeks there was a new leader in the field, only to drop off the radar screen. It looked like 2016 was going to be different, but maybe Donald Trump is the leading edge in a new round of the musical chairs in the GOP nomination. So those are the highlights and lowlights of this week in 2016 presidential polls. Until next time, I'm Patrick Murray from the Monmouth University Polling Institute.